and welcome to my make your own loom video. I'm going to show you a loom that I have already started so you can see what the end process will look like. A larger loom that I have started can't even fit in the whole video. It's quite large. Or you can make a small loom. As you see, I use a stick to hold up my weaving when I'm done, and I'll make a separate video to show how to weave. Now let's start by making the loom. So I am making a smaller loom. As you can see, I put cuts already in this one. I can tell you about the cuts after, but I haven't had cuts on the other side. So this is the size of the loom. It can either be, you can make it long ways, or you could make it the width of this. I'm going to make it wide. And so I'm going to cut down this part of the cardboard with some scissors. You want to use strong scissors often with cardboard, because cardboard, although it's malleable, can still be hard to cut. Oops, sorry kitty. And now I'm going to cut down my size. Don't want the kitty to jump on the computer. No kitty. Oops. Sorry about that. So I already have the cuts on this side, and basically if you want a reference, you want the space between each cut to be like a pinky. The tighter they are together, the closer they are together, the tighter the weave will be. If you have them spaced out, it'll be loose and you'll be able to see space between the string or the yarn. I like mine to be close together so that you can't see any space between the yarn. That's just how I like to make them. I like to make them really tight. It's just how I make jewelry, and it's how I make different things. It's just how I like to do it. So I'm going to do the cuts on this side, and you'll see I'm not super uniform. I don't mark them. I don't measure them. I just trust that the cuts that I make will be the perfect spacing. And I'm going to start right here. I do like to make them deep cuts, so that the string, the deeper it is, the more the string can have tension, which I'll show you after when we string the loom. And I'm going to stop right here. I'm not going to go all the way down to the end, because I didn't go all the way down to the end on the other one. So they're in line, the two ends. That is important. You do want the start and the starting cuts and the ending cuts to be in line. And when we string the loom, you'll see why. So, if you are someone who's an exact measurer, you want the cuts to be no more than like half a pinky into the cardboard, because if it's all the way, then it might break the loom. So, just about half a pinky, enough so it can get a little bit of tension. Okay, so now that we have our cuts, you can't see the cuts because they're not super deep, but they're there. And now we're going to string the loom. So ideally, the color of the string that you use on your loom shouldn't really matter, because you don't see this really. This is meant to be in my style. There are styles where you can show the string of the loom, but the way I like to make it, your strings that you're weaving completely cover up this cord. So as you can see, I used hemp fibers at the bottom of my loom. See these dark, like heavy, kind of coarse strings? You don't see them in my weaving because the yarn completely covers up those heavy cords. Okay, so now we're going to string the loom. So I'm starting out pulling it down, and you don't have to tie a knot or anything. I don't. You just pull and let this little string hang. There's enough tension here that it's going to be solidly attached. Okay? And now I'm just going to string it on the other side. So I just pulled it through on either side on the first ones, and now you can see that they're lined up. And then, so I'm going to be hopefully not going too fast. You can always rewind the video, but so you string it so it's going over the front, and then you turn it around so it's going over to the other side. So now there's a string on both exact same sides. And I'm turning it around, putting it on the other side. So you're just pulling the string through either side. So you can see it's just going down. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. It's pretty straightforward if you watch. Pulling it down, just flip it around, pull it down. Flip it around, pull it down. Flip it, pull it through. Flip it, pull it through. See here, these aren't completely aligned, so there's a little bit of space, but that's fine. See how these are all closer together and this one's more spaced out? That's okay. Flip it around, pull it down, flip. You're just weaving or like pulling the string through each of the cuts. That's what's making perfectly spaced out lines. Now I'm at the end. So I've pulled it through each of these and then pull it to the other side. So I'm at the very end. I pull it through here, pulling it around, pulling it all the way down to the end, and so it's coming out on this side. And here you have two options. You can either leave the string just loose, or you can cut it and with this loose one you can tie it around this. Either way is fine. Tying it assures that it's gonna stay. I usually just leave it loose because I just like the way it looks as a finished product to leave it loose than to have an extra knot in there. And here we have the loom. And I'm gonna make my next video about how to weave. So hopefully this was straightforward and easy to follow. If you feel like you got confused at any point, what helps me by watching and learning from YouTube videos is to watch it without the sound and just watch how I'm doing it, because sometimes if you're getting instructions and watching at the same time it can get confusing. So maybe if you watch it again without any talking, I can help you create a loom. Okay. A parting goodbye sound. Thank you for watching.